Buongiorno everybody. We are back and we're going to make lunch or dinner, however you want it to be, but right now it's going to be lunch for me. So today we are going to make, like, for lack of better words, we're going to come up with a couple different, a zucchini pie or a zucchini tart or a zucchini, I don't know, Torta Salata they might call it in Italian, which is basically a savory pie. So that's what we're making, and you're gonna like it, or else. Anyway, we're gonna start today with one of my favorite ingredients, and we all know that. I'm using my little ones today, some pancetta. So we're gonna get that cooking up right away. Right, we're gonna cook that up in here. Then we're gonna make a nice crust. Let's use the whole thing. What the heck, right? And then we're gonna cut up, while those are cooking, we're starting to get going, we're gonna cut up some zucchini. So I had already started cutting these babies in half. Do you wanna believe my husband went to cut this because he thought it was a cucumber? I thought I was dying laughing. I'm like, you don't know the difference between a zucchini and a cucumber yet? All these years? Well, that one kind of looked like the cucumber that was, I give him credit, there was a cucumber sitting on the counter just before that, but still. I was like, come on. That's pretty funny. So I'm gonna, you can do this however you like. If you've got smaller, I was about to say smaller cucumbers. If you have smaller zucchini, you may just want to make rounds, and that's really pretty. These are kind of bigger. I didn't get to pick these. They came in my box, so I'm quartering them. But you can do it however you like. You can put it in strips. You can shred it. You can do whatever you want. So as we go here, I'm going to put these aside for a second, but then because I'm going to let the pancetta cook up a little, because I like it to be crispy. Some people will cook the pancetta and the zucchini together, and you can, but like I said, I like it crispier, so I cook it up separate. And then, I cook it up first, and then I'll either add the zucchini, or I'll take it out and cook the zucchini separate. So now this is just going to be lunch for 4 of us. But then again, you never know, so we'll see how much crust I have, and maybe I'll make an extra small one. In the summertime, zucchini is one of those plants that just grows, and it grows, and you get so many zucchini off of even one plant. And so many novice gardeners will plant a bunch of plants, thinking they'll get a couple of this and a couple of that. And you end up with a lot more. I'm not going to do that. I think this might be enough. Now, again, this is one of those recipes, like I like to do, that you can change up however you like. You can put in, what's really nice with this is some sweet onions, or pretty, some red onion, or even, if you have some shallot. So today, since I have all 3, I think actually I'm going to put in a little bit of sweet onion, just because. And then I'm going to put a little red onion because it's pretty. And since I have this shallot that I actually kind of forgot about, so let's see if it's actually, oh, it's still good. Little piece of stem on the inside. Always take that out. Okay, so we're going to cut up some shallots. They have a nice flavor. Now we're going to throw those in with this. Now those are nice and crispy. Oh yeah. And we throw in some of this. I'm dicing it because I want it to be, you know, in nice bites. low. There we go. Oops, a little more onion there. These pieces in. Let's throw a little red onion in just to make it pretty, huh? It's the kind of stuff, I mean, you know, if you don't want to cut up 3 different onions, I cut in a whole shallot and I cut up half of a Vidalia and half of a red, but I go through this stuff so fast that it doesn't matter for me. You may just want to use one because you just want to cut one thing open. So pretty, all these colors. One little piece here. So I like to let my onions get a little cooked first. Just an, oh God, the 3 different kind of onions. You know, people don't give onions enough credit. You get, you know, with the shallots, you get a softer, mellow flavor. With the sweet onion, obviously you get the sweetness. With the red onion, it's a little pungent. I don't know. It's really pretty. Look at this, just with the pancetta and the 3 onions. I think it's pretty cool. So now, I'm gonna go ahead and put in the zucchini. The zucchine. Let's see, is that gonna be enough? You know, I will cut the other one. Let's go ahead and do this. I have this big one here. Let's get it used up. So this one's really big. This is cutting it in 3rds. Sometimes it's not until you put it in the pan. You know, on the countertop when they're spread out, they looks like a certain, you know, amount. So that's a lot now. Let's see. And what we're going to do now is I'm just going to give it a little flavor. I'm just going to put 1 little drop of some wine in it. Just a little drop. Probably not even a shot. Just a little something. But whoop, fly away zucchini. Okay, that, and now I'm going to put my lid on it and let that cook up for a few minutes. So while that's cooking, we're going to make our crust. So many people are afraid of crust, and really, truly, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's not mean, it's not nasty, it's not anything. It's wonderful, and it's fun. You know, when you're cooking, you gotta make sound effects. It makes everything more fun. Put these pieces over here. All right. So, we're gonna make some crust. And hubby took my bowl. I love when Pasquale tries to help me, but sometimes in the morning, I set things out ready for today, or the day, and he comes in and he thinks he's helping, he's cleaning up, he puts everything away. I'm like, where's my bowl? Where's my... And I have to take it all out. Of course, I missed this now. So, we are gonna start with some flour. Now, I do have this in Italian measures, and I like this crust because it's not, now I have made this same pie with, like if you ever have leftover pie crust, as long as it doesn't have any sugar in it, it's a great crust for this. You can use any crust. I've used a butter pie crust. I have used, this one now is an oil crust. No butter, so it's extra virgin olive oil, might be 2 calories less, but that's it. Okay, and we had rain yesterday, and the springtime allergies are getting me, so I apologize. At least I'm in my own home kitchen. Anyway, if I'm sniffling. All right, let's turn this on. So we are going to do 250 grams of flour, which is about, let's see, that's one cup. Okay, it's about 1 3/4 cups of flour. Okay, so 1 3/4 cups of flour. And we're gonna make this a little savory. We're gonna add some stuff to it. So obviously we're gonna put a little salt and pepper in it. It's just a pinch of salt. We don't have to put pepper in this, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a little. It's gonna make it be pretty. Now, an interesting thing with this, we're gonna put in obviously some water. Okay. Now I've already measured out the water. It's 130 grams, which is just over half a cup. But we're gonna go little by little. I'm not gonna put the last little bit in, you never know how it comes out. Take a moment and stir. Woo! We don't want this to cook too much. We just want to soften the zucchini. So I'm going to put that on really low. We're going to do up our flour here, our crust. Yeah, we need all that water. Now, one of the things we need to do is a little bit of vinegar. So basically what this ends up being is, I'll just use a shot glass. It's about a shot of vinegar. It's officially 15 grams. You know what? Let's measure it. Let's have fun. See how many grams in a shot. We're going to put the shot glass on there, make it to 0. We're going to put in 15 grams. $15 grams. That's about a third of a shot. Put that in. What that does, apparently it's a secret ingredient. I don't think it's secret, but it's secret. It's a secret ingredient to help make your crust nice and flaky and all that. Then we're going to put in double that. So we're going to put in 30 grams of olive oil. Extra virgin, of course. Aside for a second. We're going to get this as mixed up as we can here. And so we've got it mostly put together, but it's not fully. We're going to add the olive oil. So that, oh God, what a pretty green olive oil that is. Look how pretty that is. Can you see the pretty greenness in there? Okay. And we're going to just mix this all together. We're going to use the dough to clean the bowl. You can do this right on the counter too, but it's a little cleaner and less to mess up. We're going to put it out on the counter anyway, on my board, of course. Okay, almost cleaned the bowl. We don't need that anymore either. Or that. Okay, so we're just going to mix this together. Such a nice consistency. The difference between an oil crust and a butter crust, you know, if you overdo the butter, if you knead it too much, it, you know, you lose all your flakiness. But the oil and then the little vinegar, what is it with oil and vinegar? It always goes good together. Okay, we got this nice little round ball of dough. I'm just going to set here for a moment to rest. Put a bowl on top of it. Let that rest for a minute. And now we are going to make sure we have a nice clean surface before we start rolling. Let's check our veggies because we don't want these to overcook. Perfect. You can tell that they're still nice and bright. Turn this off. They're still nice and bright. The pancetta's cooked and crispy little nuggets in there. The onions are soft. And in the end, this only takes a few minutes to cook because basically all you gotta do is cook the crust and then meld it all together. Okay, so we have this nice. You can put this in whatever shape pan you like, but I love this. It's one of my favorites. So we are going to now, no, we're gonna let that rest. I'm gonna just get out another ingredient. Hold on. I have on different times use different cheeses with this. You can use a firm mozzarella, or a scamorza as they call it, scamozza as they say in dialect. Nice. Sorry, I'm cheating. But right now I have half a thing of fontina cheese, and fontina is a cheese I like a lot. You want something like a firm mozzarella or a fontina. They're nice because they're firm, but yet they melt. Another nice thing to throw in here, once we do this, is little blobs of ricotta. So that's also really good. So I'm gonna prep all of our little pieces here while the dough is resting, and my veggies are just waiting for me. Sometimes on the inside of the red wax, it's a little hard, so sometimes I peel little pieces of it off, sometimes I don't. So I'm just going to cut this up in cubes. I love fontina cheese. So good. Really nice shredded on the pizza too. All right, there's our fontina in that corner. We're gonna take a piece of our dough. Take a smidgen of flour. Side, we're going to roll this out. Since I'm putting it in an oval, this is pretty. You can see the little bit of salt and pepper in it. You can also put, so I have some other spices out. You can mix other spices in the dough. You can put a little oregano, a little thyme, a little bit of, basil, mint. You know what's mint is really nice with zucchini. A lot of people use mint in Italy with the zucchini, especially like when they pickle it, when they put it like in vinegar, or they'll serve it with a little mint, fresh mint though, not like mint jam or anything like that, just fresh mint. It is not something that most people expect from the Italian kitchen, and yet it's very popular. We're going to take this. Let's see if I made it big enough. Whee! Sometimes I think I'm making something big enough. Heck with this. I should just roll the whole damn thing out, right? There we go. Look at that! And then I just cut off the ends. But I do love the little black specks in here. They're really pretty in the dough. There we go. That's better. I can feel it already. Of course, it's got a little more elasticity to it now because I worked it a second time. But you just let it sit for a second. Any time that you have dough that stretches back on you, the magic ingredient is patience. Just give it a second, and then it'll rest, and then it will go back to shape, or it'll stay in shape and let you do more to it. And of course, I'm trying to get it into like a longer piece here. There we go. All right, that looks beautiful, and you can do it honestly as thick as you want. So I'm just gonna roll this up. I'm gonna take my. There we go, Dorina. All right, and now we're gonna finish up real quick seasoning this because I did not salt these vegetables yet. So it's gonna get a little salt, a little pepper, you know, I'm going to put a little bit of my Italian oregano from Italy that I'm trying not to use up too quickly because I don't know when I'm going back. I'm going. Sometime before 2020 is over, I'm going. Telling you. I think that's good. Because then you're going to see what else I'm going to put on top. So. Put this in the crust. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the top of the crust and let me see here. I'm not going to cut, I'm going to cut off some of the big pieces. There's a couple big chunks over on the sides here. But what I like to do is to just kind of ruggedly, rustically fold it over. So we're going to just take this and we're just going to, whoop, hot, just fold it over the edges here. So it's real rustic-y looking. Now, the other thing, of course, you can do before you fold it over. You're just going to throw some of these blocks of cheese in here. That's kind of big. Just kind of randomly throw them in. I thought I cut these small. And we're going to just kind of wedge them inside, in the middle of the zucchini. And you can do this however you like. Now, if you were going to do it with ricotta, which is so good, same thing. You could, before you fold this over, just put some little blobs in, maybe push them down a little bit, but it doesn't need to be much, but it's just enough to melt in there, give it some awesome flavor. Kind of wedge them in. Let's throw another piece over here underneath. Okay. And the other thing I'm going to do is sprinkle a little bit of Romano cheese on top of the little crust. And that's going to go in the oven for about half an hour just so you see the crust get golden, okay? And then you can remember one of the ingredients that you forgot to put in, and you can do it right now before you put it in the oven. You could do it totally just like this. But the whole purpose of this is to have something gluing it together. And as I'm sitting here looking at one of the ingredients I just looked over, I forgot. Guess what else goes in? Some eggs. So we're gonna glue it all together with 4 eggs. It's one of those days, you know? But this is the real kitchen. I could have put that in the oven and it would have been totally fine. And the cheese melts it all together. But it is really good if you put some eggs in it. So let's beat these eggs. And of course, you always put a pinch of seasoning in the eggs. I'm going to put a little bit of cheese in the eggs too, just so it spreads out throughout. Let's just put a little drop of whole milk. If you have cream, that's really nice too. It's not necessary, but it's yummy. Okay, let's do this right, huh? You might as well see me do it. We're going to egg top the whole thing. There we go. Now we're there. Make sure everything's underneath. There we go. Jiggle, jiggle. Oh. Now it looks finished. You know, sometimes you gotta eat the pancetta. Sometimes things happen that way. How many times have you ever made a cake and forgot to put like an important ingredient like the sugar or something in it? I'm putting this in the oven before I forget anything else. Okay, so that's it. I'll post the picture later with the full recipe which is I wrote down for myself just so I wouldn't forget anything right in front of me, and here it is. You know, did I forget anything? No, I didn't. Not now, anyway. But that's the way it goes. Actually, I'm going to take it over there. I'm going to take a piece of cheese, and we're going to go sit down. Let's put the glasses on. Are they fogged? A little. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so if anybody has any questions or suggestions, or, you know, usually when I'm cooking a recipe, wait a minute, let me get this straight here. There we go. When I'm cooking a recipe that I've written down or I'm following, because even though I have recipes that I make regularly, and to be honest with you, I make that usually without looking at anything. I don't usually look at a recipe, but I write them down when I do them for you so that I'm just make sure I don't forget something. Like if I was just in the kitchen by myself making this, I wouldn't have forgotten the eggs. I had them out right in front of me. And I know that that's a big part of it, but I'm so busy talking and explaining, you know, I'm sure that the TV chefs that are out there probably have big, giant teleprompters in front of them so that they remember their stuff. You know what? I go by myself. I have my little piece of paper with a recipe, no big teleprompter in front of me. I gotta look down and do this stuff. You know, that's the way it goes. You like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. Thanks, Jeannie. The crust is really, honest to goodness, there's so many different ways to make crust. I'm actually just trying to pull up my page here so I can see you guys and see any questions that you might have. But crust is not something to be afraid of. And there's so many different kinds. There's butter crust. This was an oil crust. There's some that have a little bit of sweet to them. There's some that have a little baking powder in them so that they are a little fluffier. Some are a little denser. Some are crispier. Some are softer. Hi, Leo. Almost home. I'm sorry. I get excited every time. Okay, Leo, say hi to Grandma. Anyway, so I feel like you just got to do it. It's always going to taste good. Somebody's might be flakier. Somebody's might be denser. But you know what? Homemade's always best. Period. The end. So let me see here what's going on with you guys and see if anybody has any comments or questions or whatever it might be. And let's see here. Yes, Jim, I had a brain fart. You wrote it, I gotta say it. You know, that's just the way it goes. Do I use an Instant Pot and air fryer? Nope. Okay, an air fryer, if I had one, I'd probably use it. I think it's kind of a cool concept. I don't really, even though I do there's a lot of dishes I make. I don't really fry, like as far as deep frying, I don't deep fry very often. There's 2 or 3 things I make here, and I have such a repertoire of foods, and if you just start growing your repertoire of foods or things that you can then tweak into more recipes, then I don't fry that often to make it that. I saute a lot. I'll do a quick pan fry once in a while. Now, Instant Pots, or whatever the heck they're called, I don't know if I think I'm a big fan of those. You know why? Because they're completely sealed. And part of my actually, one of my favorite parts of cooking and eating is the smell. If I was making something in an Instant Pot that's completely sealed, I understand maybe it's got a purpose if you're really needing, I don't know, a lot of, you're in a real hurry or something like that. I understand they cook fast. But honestly, I want to smell my food cooking. To me, you walk in the back door, you smell the garlic, you smell the onion, you smell the sauce, you smell the zucchini, you smell whatever baking or cooking. That's what makes a family home smell like home. So no, I'm not a big fan of things that seal out the smell. Just saying. I don't think I've ever even eaten anything out of it. I've never, they've only become popular, this last year or so. But, I think that you really have to enjoy what you're cooking. All right. So now, in the meantime, I want to share with you. So today, I have another challenge. It's a fun challenge. It's just something to do. The Instapot makes an excellent risotto. Okay, hold on. I have to address. I think some of you have heard me say before how much I love to stir. For me, whether I'm stirring my espresso with my little spoon, or I'm stirring a pot of sauce, or especially risotto, which you have to stir a lot, I find that there is some zen in the stir. There's peace and calm and relax in the stir. So find your stir, because I like that. So yeah, I probably wouldn't make risotto in an Instant Pot because I like to stir. In fact, risotto, I was almost gonna make it today, but I'm gonna maybe do it. I didn't have any rice, so I have to get the right rice. But I have some butternut squash, so I want to make a butternut squash risotto. Although my husband wants me to make a mushroom risotto because that's his fave, but he likes this one too. And I have some butternut squash I got to use up, so I'm going to use those first. Maybe I'll do both. Anyway, I find the calm in the stir, to me, is what it is. So that's me. More power to you if you want to do it that way. I also like smelling when I put the wine in and it evaporates and it comes up, and the broth, and it smells so good. Come on. It's not just about eating the product. It's about making it and enjoying the process. Cooking is not the chore before the party. It's part of the party. And the party is my taste buds, you know? Woo! Okay, so today I want to offer you guys something else to do, something fun. Because we're all been stuck inside now. People are sitting, maybe you're sitting on your porch, maybe you're getting to go out a little bit. I'm going to read something to you. It's very short, but it's something I wrote when I was in Italy. Just my little teeny notebook here. Actually, it's a really cool journal book. Isn't that cool? I love these leather-bound books. And what you do is just write down what you see. So I was sitting out in front of I was on my way. Well, I'm going to just read it to you. Because what I did was I just wrote exactly what I saw for those, 10 minutes, half an hour, or something like that it took me to walk from my house down to the piazza, to the bar, to sit in front of the cafe there. As you walk down the street in the morning, Donatella is sweeping the street with a smile on her face. Another woman whose name I always forget, but whose daughter Angela is married to Domenico Basso, catches up with me and talks about going to the doctor, who isn't in yet, still. Of course, the doctor at the moment is on vacation, so there is someone else. A forestiere, a foreigner, not really foreigner, but to the town, working in his place. I asked if he was good, and she then goes into the story about how they're all good when they heal you, and all bad when they leave a piece of gauze inside and kill you. Ah, what a morning. Of course, going into Bar Italia to get my morning coffee, I get greeted, and you ask how they are, and they're like, hey, I'm here. So let's see. Reno, the barber, stops, and I can even read my own writing. Stops and says hi. He and Dorina and kids are headed to the pool this morning. That's my friend Dorina. She has the same name as me. He offers me a coffee, but I've just finished mine. Thanks. The carabinieri, the police officers, and the marshal and another one are parked across the street, and they walk into the bar, talking to each other. Greet no one outside. That's nothing new for him. The lady who works at the town hall just went by, and she realized I was here and came over to welcome me back. Big smile, very nice to see. Oh, mornings here are a great way to start the day. That's one of my morning observations that I sat. I've done that I do that every now and then. I just sit there and I will write down what I see, It's, who walks in, who says hi, who gets a coffee, who's standing at the door, who's talking with their hands to somebody across the room. I just write these things down just as I see them. And it's so fun then to go back and read it, because all of a sudden it's a photograph. It's a picture of a moment that I saved, but not just in a photo, but in words and the pictures in my head. So it's kind of cool. I totally can still remember that morning every time I read that, because I remember the walk that I took, because I wrote it down, how I was walking down the street and I see the girl who's sweeping the street and I see this person and that person, the police officer, and the, and I have some other ones that are actually a little bit more detailed. I thought that was a different one, but it's, still, I'll find another one and read you another one sometime. But take a moment, whether you're sitting on your porch and watching the people go by, or you're, in town at a cafe, no matter where you live. It's really just fun to take a snapshot of your life, but in words. Just a little paragraph. It's kind of fun. And then just put it in, your journal, or, somewhere where you keep safe things. And sometimes you go back and you read it and it's like, that's pretty cool. It's like like I said, it's like looking at pictures. So I thought I would just share that with you guys today. I'm just going to take a moment and tell you how yesterday afternoon, my daughter Angelina and a couple of her friends and me, we went to our town hall. They had a little peaceful gathering in support of all that's going on in this country right now. And it was really nice. We have a really nice town. We have people who are very supportive. And we had people on the stairs of the town hall, some, people holding up signs, some people doing some little chants here and there. And our Madison Police Department was there, just hanging around. I saw them chatting with people. Of course, they're chatting with me because I chat with them all the time. I know them all. But it was really nice. It was a nice little show of solidarity for all the people in our community, no matter where they come from, or no matter what their background is, no matter what their ethnicity or race, creed, or color is. So it was really nice. It was kind of long. They did it all day long. I went for, I think we went and hung out. I think hung out for about 2 hours. I was going to leave, and then I ended up talking to some friends, so I stayed a little longer. But it was nice. If you have the opportunity to show that you care in some way, in a calm and peaceful way, show it. I made my cookies. I'm going to take some over to the police station because I told the guys about my southern tea cakes I made. I said, I'll bring you some over. So I've got a container full here that I'm going to take over to them later on. And that's it. I think that we're all, I think we all got to be in this together. It's kind of what I'm always saying. Gather at the table. Share your heritage, share your faith, share who you are, unite your families, teach people right from wrong, and know what that is. And we're going to have us a happy world because, we're going to save the world one table at a time. Get back to the table. And we're going to revive that Rosetta effect, and I'm going to make sure that happens because that's my mission for the rest of my life. So, thank you all for being here today and for watching, and hit the little dingy bell. Make sure that you know when I'm coming live. If you haven't already, I know a bunch of you are already follow me on the regular, so I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys wouldn't mind sharing my Facebook page so other people can see these lives, that would be great. And and don't forget to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/dorinaskitchen. I really appreciate it. I'm here for you, and I'm hoping that eventually, if I can make this big enough on YouTube, then I can continue to do this for everybody for free. I don't want to ever have to charge anybody for this anymore. I'm done for that. I'd rather just do it with a minute of advertising and and just be able to give it, because that's what I believe in. So have a wonderful day, you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. Ciao. Mwah.